Do you ever wonder what took that homeless man out on the street? Or what put that rich businessman in that luxury car? Well, it is their respective habits. So you might already know that your habits have a lot to do with your financial status. You might have heard Bill Gates' famous saying, if you were born poor, it is not your fault, but if you die poor, it is your fault. Well, the main impetus behind your financial success is your productive lifestyle. Your habits are the ones that could build you or destroy you. You see, poverty is a state of total financial lack. No one wants that fate. So if you wonder what habits can lead you to poverty, you're in the right place. I have a list of 5 habits that can cause poverty in the future. Before I begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. I almost daily come up with videos that could be beneficial or may help you in boosting the success for the bright future. So by subscribing to my channel, it will motivate me further to come up with more similar videos, and you will be staying tuned by hitting the bell icon. Thanks in advance, and let's begin with today's video about poor making habits. Number 1, overspending. Overspending is one of the most financially lethal habits one can indulge in. Overspending, in simple words, is spending more than you can afford. Beware if you are in a continuous habit of overspending because it will surely lead you to poverty. People overspend for different reasons. Some spend money extravagantly to impress their girlfriends, while others do that to look cool to their friends. Similarly, some people just do not have the control to resist impulsive purchases. The bottom line is, you should not waste money on things that you cannot afford. It is never worth it. But to be honest, you do not need a new gadget or a new car if the previous one is working fine. Some people overspend over the philosophy that they deserve it. Ultimately, they buy things just to stay motivated in their work. Sometimes overspending is a way to escape a toxic relationship. But whatever the reason is, overspending can never bring you any good. The obvious impact of overspending is accumulated debt. If you're in a habit of overspending, you're living a life that you cannot afford. Most probably, you do not want to let that lifestyle go away. So naturally, you start taking debt. Moreover, overspending means that you're not saving anything either. So you do not have any capital for long-term or short-term investments. In such circumstances, your financial future does not portray a happy picture. Most importantly, the habit of overspending means you will not be able to build your own home, and you will end up paying rent all your life. But wait a minute. If you have no money, you would probably be unable to afford the rent for a long time. All those things will just add up until you are financially broken. To avoid that fate, it is important that you start making a budget. Every time you go out with your friends, make a budget that you will not exceed. I know it sucks to be seen as stingy, but that is what you have got to do. Number 2, seeking instant gratification. Instant gratification is when someone expects complete fulfillment or reward in the shortest time possible. This habit means that you want your reward now and not later. The habit of instant gratification means that you're more interested in your short-term goals rather than focusing on long-term success. Honestly, this is not going to make your financial position any better. Simply stated, long-term prospects make people rich, while short-term prospects result in stagnant financial conditions. People who are indulged in this habit would give you all sorts of excuses to avoid any long-term yielding plan, simply because they want the reward right now. They do not want short-term pain to make room for long-term gains. Seeking instant gratification is much like self-sabotaging, which leaves you impulsive and quick to make wrong decisions. People who seek instant gratification are more vulnerable to falling into an unending cycle of procrastination, envy, and jealousy that further impedes their financial growth. Resultantly, such people often become victims of anxiety and depression since they are easily overwhelmed. Also, these people are not disciplined and they are unable to exercise control over their emotional urges. Ultimately, these people are left unhappy and ungrateful. More often, these people end up falling prey to poverty. If you are into the habit of instant gratification, I would suggest you try delayed gratification instead. This habit helps you to focus on long-term successes. Temporary and short pains might come in the way, but you will end up as a successful individual by practicing delayed gratification. Among multiple benefits of delayed gratification include better decision-making power, a disciplined lifestyle, better focus, better planning abilities, and a wholesome understanding of the importance of patience. Number 3, procrastination. The quickest way to poverty is through procrastination. You need to make physical and mental efforts to achieve your ultimate goals in life. Well, since procrastination will not allow you to make the effort, it would naturally make a failure out of you. Procrastination will stop you from making efforts and achieving things. As a result, you will end up in poverty. Successful people are those who make their moves when it is pertinent to make a move. You might be the world's best graphic designer, but if you do not make any effort to make your brand successful, you will end up in poverty. One of the most worrisome impacts of procrastination is that it makes you lose opportunities that could otherwise change your life for the better. The golden principle for a successful life is that you must seize the opportunity when it comes. Only once in a while does an opportunity knock at your door. If you are a procrastinator, well, you will most probably decide not to hold it. The unavoidable impacts of procrastination are anxiety and stress. It is natural to be stressed if you have too much work piled up. Well, as a procrastinator, you are always under the burden of doing so much work. This habit thus leads you to constant anxiety. Likewise, you get fatigued by doing piled up work in less time, which makes you less productive in your work. You should know that procrastination is also a major cause of low self-esteem. A procrastinator always completes tasks in the nick of time, thus compromising efficiency. As a result, the continuous bad performance creates low self-esteem in such people. So, all these jumbled up impacts take a procrastinator closer to poverty every day. With no self-esteem comes lethargy and the inability to perform better, making the fate of poverty unescapable. Number 4, borrowing more than necessary. Well, this is basically a habit of spendthrifts. People who are in the habit of overspending too much keep running short of cash. To support their unaffordable lifestyle, they end up borrowing money. As a result, they keep getting into debt. Well, you should know that the habit of taking debt is very much likely to make you stay poor. According to a study, about 40% of low-income American households spend a significant part of their income on debt repayments. Furthermore, some studies suggest that debt renders you unable to make financially wise decisions. Consider the situation where you have to pay a lump sum of money over interest. The same money could have been used in an investment that could generate income. Besides, being in a debt continuously lowers your credit scores. There is hardly any investor that would give you money knowing that you are already struggling to pay off your debts. That means you would be unable to get any investment loans for business ventures or to get support in dire situations. Resultantly, you will end up in poverty. So my advice for you to escape poverty would be not to borrow money unless you are in an unavoidable situation. Number 5, it might seem cool to be known as a jack of all trades, but it is hardly as productive. People who get caught in multiple tasks fail to master any of them. The truth is that expertise in any matter needs time, skills, and guidance from someone who has already excelled in the field. Efforts of overstretching and all skills render you inefficient to do any of them. It is better if you focus your time and energy on one thing at a time. On the flip side, doing multiple tasks at one time will make you end up a failure, under debt. So the problem is that if you expand the little resources that you have on too many endeavors, you will run short of these resources very soon. If you are trying to run a business, know that the business needs careful evaluation and constant supervision before it can bear fruit. If you are caught up in other things, you will most probably lose your investment subsequently. In other words, success comes to those who are slow and steady. Focusing on too many ventures at one time is also associated with the habit of seeking instant gratification, thus pulling all its hazardous impacts. To become successful, you need to gain expertise in one field at a time. So that was all from today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, so don't forget to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments section which part you find the most interesting. See you in the next video.